Welcome to Java. Thank you kindly for joining me. It's April 30th, 2025. It is also Wednesday, putting this in the middle of a very busy week. There has been a tremendous amount going on, a little difficult to keep up with everything. So today, aside from all of the geopolitical turmoil, as well as some possible peace talks and things going on globally, we've also got major tech earnings going on. And we've also got some large reports coming in. So this evening is Discord discussion. We'll be talking a little bit about the power outage and a few other things affecting the larger picture here. So as always, let's get started with what's going on in these markets. Now, pre-market United States, as it's coming up in Europe, the session is green. So they're looking not necessarily strong, but they are in the green nonetheless. So there, as well as Asia, markets look to open green in the United States. However, quite a bit of weakness that look forward to this. So we've got volatility is increasing. So this daily driver right now, even though it's 39 right below 40 and it is climbing, we're watching this daily driver is weak. We will be watching the GDP as well as PCE numbers coming out. So this is core inflation numbers and the gross domestic product of the United States. Now, the expectation is that the GDP will be a bit low for the United States, but as we all know, it doesn't matter exactly what the number is as much as whether they expect it or not, because the market does not like having uncertainty. Now, a quick note on that, with all of the tariff talk and things that have been happening over the first quarter, this is the first quarter finally ending, the market is really beginning to become complacent. And what I mean by that is that a lot of the extreme volatility, massive moves have slowed down quite a bit. So it's a bit more of a grind out between the last couple of days. And those really are when it's time to watch things, because as the market gets complacent, when there is a shock of some major headline news, is when it sends it rapidly one direction or another. And we finally got some analysts saying that the S&P 500 for one has not necessarily seen the bottom yet. So with that being said, that it's opening green, there's still a lot of caution going on in here. Now, one instance of this, we're going to go to a specific ticker, is SMCI. That's super micro. Now, their stock dropped. And even though they had good earnings, their forward looking is really lower. That hit the stock in a large way, and it is dragging tech down because it's kind of looking forward onto projecting onto NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, as the AI darling, is taking some heat this morning. So we've got a lot of companies dropping their forward guidance or revising it if they even are reporting it. So we've got a couple of categories there. We've got one that's being hit very hard by this mainly auto industry, if you will, and some others, but for instance. And then we've got some other companies that just, these tariffs don't really matter at all. So we've got a few tickers here I expect to be moving. Meta, Facebook parent, Microsoft as well. They both report today, as well as Robinhood, Caterpillar, I'll talk about in a bit, and Humana. Now, Bitcoin is dropping, but only slightly, still just under 95,000. So this is actually pretty good strength at the moment. We're watching this consolidate. Normally when it does this, it's right before another larger move. Now, if it continues as it is right now and stays above 91,000, this is bullish for the cryptocurrencies in general. We have the dollar up slightly, and we've also got the 10-year yield coming down. Now, this means that there is more purchasing of the treasuries. We're watching more money flow back into the treasuries or the Fed buying. But with the dollar strengthening, what's going on here is we are watching a bit of money flow back into the stock market and back into the treasuries by the hedge funds. So we've got a similar pattern going across the markets that is merging again. I've spoken about this before. This is where the typically first hour, hour and a half opening of stocks. There are a lot of retailers that are buying into it. So it pushes up, and then approximately midday or so, when things slows down, volume drops. So does the market. And then retailers purchase and buy it up again, buying that dip back towards the end of the day, and the larger institutional money is still selling into these bumps. So we're kind of seeing that again. However, we are getting reports today. I did want to leave this up here, foreign exchange. So this is money, relative strength. We're watching the euro and the pound both getting much weaker in relative strength to some of the other currencies. And this, paired with what's going on with the yields, is telling us a bit more of a story here. So relative strength of the dollar increasing again at 99.39. So a little bit more faith, at least temporarily, coming back into the dollar. It is still the reserve currency. So calendar, we are expecting kind of the employment, the GDP numbers prior to the market open. So we'll watch those PMI. It's going to affect that first hour heavily. And then we're going to get core PCE for these inflation numbers later on today. And tomorrow, prior to the market open, initial jobless claims. Now, these are the earnings we are expecting out today. Caterpillar just came out and reported they're taking a bit of a hit, but a bit earlier, they have, I believe it was earlier last year, they had offshored a lot of the production to Mexico. So they're getting hit with some things. We've got the big ones, Microsoft, Meta. We've also got Robinhood, eBay, and a few of the others. Amazon is aftermarket, and Apple. So we'll be watching these. MasterCard, Reddit. It's going to make a difference. So a couple of things as far as foreign currency. They're talking about how the twilight of King Dollar could be the dawn of a new world currency. More people are waking up to this. We've been talking about it for quite some time now, and that it's going to be a stable coin now, which is also a central bank digital currency. So King Dollar, shift to a new financial system. That is what all of this is geared towards. If you're new to this vlog, stick around, or if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. I'm happy to try and help. You can also join us for the Discord this evening and ask directly if you'd like to, or if you've got something to contribute. Now, I want to speak about China for a moment because they are the largest issue as far as trade concerns at the moment. They are hurting, in short. They've got a lot of things they can internalize, they can absorb quite a bit. That being said, they are looking to swap out the grains in their animal feed right now with either kitchen waste and insects. So I'm mentioning this for two reasons, not just the weakness they're experiencing economically, which has been coming for some time and it's triggered deeper now, but their solution to feed the animals, their feed animals, whether it's for pork or their cattle, kitchen waste and insects. And if this had to go on longer, then would probably be proposed for people as well. They are days late in releasing their trade data, and that generally is because it's not something very good. So they don't want the propaganda out there managing it. And their manufacturing number came out. It is the worst it's been in over 16 months. And they are looking to provide stimulus for some of the private companies. So they are hurting at the moment. We're going to see if this trade deal works out. On the announcement of a good trade deal between US and China, expect markets to rocket. Now, I want to go a little bit deeper because this whole de-dollarization thing going on with BRICS, we've also got Russia talking about this, and Lavrov is the foreign ministry talking about working within BRICS to ensure there are no disruptions when carrying out payments, and have been quite effective in their efforts. Now, they are rapidly, as it says here, abandoning US dollar and working on building resilient payment systems. We've been talking about this here for a while. So they've got e-ruble as well as the EU yuan, and they're trading in their native currencies outside of the dollar. expect this to continue. Meantime, we've got BlackRock looking to tokenize shares of their treasury fund. This is another way they're working with BNY Mellon, which is another major bank, for those that aren't aware of it. So they want to offer these shares. What this does is it enables them to fund all of this from other funds in the United States, are called pensions, and other institutional money is what it boils down to. We've got PayPal CEO talking about they're moving quickly, working on stable coins, and this is not a coincidence. This is two stories separately. I put them together because it really is one. The first being that they're moving quickly and pushing with giant partners Coinbase to boost a Solana-based PYUSD coin. The second part of the story is that the SEC is now dropping the investigation on their stablecoin, CBDC. So PayPal moving forward, going to be watching that. Now, a couple of other things with all of the cryptocurrency coming into the works. I've been speaking about the infrastructure. DePIN. DePIN is decentralized physical infrastructure networks, and these are a solution, if you will, or at least a bolstering for the performance and sustainability pressures, meaning electrical centers, grids, and data usage. So it's going to give them a little bit more, like basically tying into the electrical grid. And the specific reason that I want to bring this up is in relation to the Spanish grid going down yesterday. Now, they came out and said that the Spanish own the most resilient grid in Europe. And while they were kind of bragging about this for a bit, I find it a bit frightening, because if they have the strongest and they were taken down so easily, what does that mean for the others? In a related story, there is also another fire at one in the UK, and this is not a coincidence. This is a takedown test of what is going to happen with all of the populations, with the infrastructure, in this case, electricity, and how resilient it will be as far as within tandem with internet and other work. So I plan on talking about this a little bit tonight, going into a few more details. So this last couple of things I want to talk about: the lightning speed of Trump's 100 days of stablecoin advocacy. So really pushing the cryptocurrency regulations and really pushing for stablecoin bills, saying now that it will be signed by the August recess, or actually, I think they didn't complete this. It should say recession. So that is where we're headed, my opinion. I could be wrong, but now there are finally a few others that are waking up to this as well. And it's finally getting a little bit into the media. Now, we've also got Satya Nadella from Microsoft saying that artificial intelligence now writes over 30% of their code. Zuckerberg of Meta, Facebook, predicting half of Meta's future development will be done by artificial intelligence. I find this frightening, because those that are directing this and training those AI at this point in time are going to massively and exponentially have influence over what happens in the future. So I just want to bring this to the attention. I think we should all start working with artificial intelligence in the aspect that we have the choice about it now, and in what respect we do, because quite soon it will not be a choice of ours any longer. So work with it now. We've got some solutions of how we can be outside of the system. And until I see you again, my friends, stay free.